people, welcome back to my channel. I'm sorry I've been gone for so long, so I make this video super short. I already started with my brows done and I'm moisturizing my lips with some Carmex, and I'm using my TheCrayonCase eyeshadow palette, and I'm going in with the color magenta. This pink is really bright, like I was like, whoa. Next, I'm going in with a different pink, which is more of a matte. The other pink was shimmery, and I'm doing this to add contrast. You can really see more in person. I don't really think you can see on camera, but you better squint because it's there, and I said what I said. Okay, so now I'm going in with the shade Cream from the Love and Beauty palette, and I'm putting it under my brow. You don't necessarily have to do this, that's optional, but I just chose to. You could just blend it into that area there. Next, I'm blending out the pink into the cream, or the magenta into the cream, because I don't like a choppy eyeshadow look. That looks disgusting to me. And now I'm just retouching up the cream under the brow, so it can have like a soft look. Now I'm just doing a cut crease. Make sure you mark it above your eyelid where it creases. That way it doesn't mess up or shift. So now I'm taking the shade Off-White, and I'm going to put it in half of the crease, not the whole crease, because we're going to add another color to show definition. And I'm going back into the crayon case, and I'm using the shade Pink, and I'm just going to sit that right there. Next, I'm going back into the second palette, the Love and Beauty palette, and I'm using their color called Pink, which is what I used in the beginning to give it contrast. It looks darker. And you're going to go in a diagonal motion the way I did the other eye. And just take your time. Sometimes it takes really long, but get it done. Now I'm using my highlighter, and I mixed it with water, and I'm going to use this e.l.f. brush, and I'm going to make that crease. I did it off camera, but you know, that could be a separate video. Next, I'm going in with the Vulture's Blue Wet n Wild megaliner, and I'm just creating a wing. I draw the line out from the corner, and then I drag it from the middle, and I just fill it in. Next, I am wiping up any excess makeup that should not be there. Now, first of all, if I'm doing an eyeshadow with liner, I always wipe up the extra eyeshadow that's all over my face before I do liner for this specific reason. I feel like I wasn't able to get all of the pink shadow, but I mean, you can always clean that up with your foundation once you apply it, or with your concealer, but I didn't want to apply so much product. And I have really long lashes, so whenever I put on any type of eyeliner, the eyeliner always gets on my lashes. So I'm also cleaning the blue off my lashes. Now, beautiful ladies, I'm teaching you a hack. You're going to use the lipstick that you have of your choice and your setting powder. So if you run out of color correction concealer, use something red shaded. I'm using my Ruby Woo and my Bennye Luxury Banana Powder, and I'm just covering all my dark spots. Then I'm going to wet my beauty blender with some setting spray, and I'm going to blend out the lipstick. Once the lipstick is blended out on all the dark spots, you're going to set it with the baking powder of your choice. My setting powder is going to be the Bennye one. Once I do that, I wet my brush, my foundation brush, and I put the foundation on the back of my hand. That way your body temperature warms up the foundation, makes it easier to spread on your face. And that's what I'm doing. I'm using a brush. I never really liked using brushes because I felt like I wasn't really used to it, but now I'm used to it. You gotta make sure you get every spot under your neck. I don't do full coverage foundation because it's not for me. Personally, I don't like it. And then I'm going in with the beauty blender just to erase the wet spots. I don't want my face to look caked up. Now I'm just giving white eyeliner under my eye to give my eye the illusion that it's bigger and more festive. Because I don't know, white is just extra, like boom, pop, hello. Now I'm using Black Opal's foundation stick in the shade Truly Topaz, and I'm using that as my concealer. And I'm going in, you know, the regular spots you always see. Nose, under eye, around mouth, etc., etc. If you're not good at blending your concealer, use the same, whatever you use to blend your foundation, use that same thing, because chances are your foundation is darker than your concealer, so that way it won't stick out if you have trouble blending. Next, I'm getting another beauty blender and I'm wetting it before I go into my setting powder. I feel like this is key And this is very, very important to me, in my opinion. I also don't put a lot of setting powder on my face. I used to, but you have to figure out what works for you. Me personally, I don't, because I don't want the perfect like China doll look face, if that makes sense. Like, I don't want to look perfect. I still want to look like me. And I feel like everyone nowadays, their makeup all looks identical. Everyone's trying to look like someone, and I don't want to look like a whole new person. I just want to look like an enhanced version of myself. Hence why I don't cake up my makeup. And yeah, but if you choose to put as much setting powder as you want, that's up to you. I know people who put so much setting powder on them, you'll think they're gonna look dead, but by the time they finish, their face beat is phenomenal. Me personally, that's not my cup of tea, and I'm not gonna do it. Some people do, and they don't even know how to dust it off, and they out here looking like Casper, but it is what it is. Oh, now when I do this, I love to use the angle sponge. I feel like it's so much better than a beauty blender, in my opinion. Now I'm going in with my mascara from Clinique, and it's called the High Impact, and I put it on my regular lashes before I put on my falsies. So now I'm going back in with the TheCrayonCase, and I'm going in with the shade brown. If you don't have a bronzer, you can always use whatever type of brown eyeshadow you have, and I really like this brown. It's not brown, but it's also like has a red tint to it, and I'm not a blush person per se. And I feel like this is like a common connection between them two. Like, it's a nice, I don't know what, but I feel like you know what I'm trying to say, so y'all get what I'm saying. And I'm just putting it around everywhere, and I'm going in an upward motion so it could blend into the setting powder once I dust it off, which is what I'm doing now. Now I'm going to show you a trick so that way when you take pictures, you don't have a flashback and you don't look like, you know, a victim, like you're dead in a body bag. Now I'm putting on these lashes that I got from Kiss, and I use the Duo Glue, the white one that dries clear, and I use a tweezer, as you can see. I don't use the tweezer in the pack because it's not for me. Next, I'm using my black Radiance Complexion palette, as well as the Contour Complexion palette, excuse me. And they have a highlighter in the palette, which is whack, I don't recommend. And they have a bronzer, which is beautiful, and they have a, it's called a concealer, but I don't feel like it's concealer, but whatever. It's a tan color, and I'm using that on top of the baking powder, and that erases any flashback. Now I'm going back in with the same brown eyeshadow that I used to do my contour, and I put it under my lip to give my lip a bigger illusion. And I'm going to start contouring my nose lightly, not harshly, because I'm not really with the Michael Jackson nose. Sorry. Oh, rest in peace, my guy. You were great. Anyway, once I do that, I decide to touch up my contour that I already have, and you go in threes. You're doing from your forehead to under your mid cheek and then your jaw. Now you're gonna use your 2 fingers, the tools God gave you. You can just blend your nose out with your fingers. And now I'm going in with my Fenty Galaxy palette, and I'm using the Midnight Bow, and I'm just putting that blue under my lashes. Next, I'm going in with my mascara. My favorite mascara is called Lash Craft, and you also get this from Sephora, and I'm just doing my bottom lashes, and I did my top lashes as well because this don't be scared. And I don't know, I just love brown liner on women. Like, I just think it's the best thing created in the world. So as you can see, I overpacked that, and then I'm using a matte lipstick from Tarte, and it's called Birthday Suit, and I'm packing that in the mid, and I'm blending it with my fingers. Next, I'm going on top of it with the lip gloss that I got from Victoria's Secret, named Slice of Heaven, and I'm going to lay that on there. Now, I did feel like I put a little bit too much gloss on, so after I apply this gloss, I'm going to go back in with the pencil, just so that way you can still see the brown. I want my lips to still pop and look real juicy, because, you know, they gotta look juicy. I was feeling myself. Look at you. Live your life. Last but not least, you're gonna use your setting spray. So just spray your face, set it up, and you are done. Bad bitch central. Check my credentials. Like, share, subscribe. I hope you guys enjoy, and I promise I will never be gone for so long ever again. Thank you. Love you guys so much.
In the bag, big Chanel or Celine, huh? And he look good. I want him, I'ma get him, huh? Ain't got my license, but I'm really racing, huh? Says chef front too.